Good evening, high school football fans. This is the High School Football America radio show for June the 1st, 2017. I'm Jeff Fisher, host of the show and founder and editor-in-chief of highschoolfootballamerica.com. We are right around the corner from the 2017 season as we hit June. All of the spring practices have wrapped up around the country. Teams will continue to work out, and the fall camps will begin opening up in several states by the end of July. And before you know it, they'll be playing the games for real. And in preparation for that, as I've mentioned over the last couple of shows, we're working really hard at High School Football America to get the national rankings together, our preseason rankings, bigger and better this year as we're going from a top 50 that we've done over the last 2 years to a top 100 that will be created with our proprietary algorithm. Everyone loving what High School Football America's been able to do with its algorithm over the last, we've been doing it since 2013. Bishop Gorman, the defending national champs. They're the three-time national champs for our partners at USA Today, the Super 25. And they got some good news this week as Kenny Sanchez was cleared of wrongdoing in a court of law in Las Vegas in connection with the domestic violence charge that he was facing. Sanchez has been suspended since the charges were filed, and now the school administration will meet with Coach Sanchez and make sure everything is where the school wants it to be. And Kenny Sanchez excited to get back onto the sidelines. He has some real talent coming back. There's no doubt that they have a top-notch schedule. So Bishop Gorman is our defending champ heading into 2017. And our top 100, we expect it to be released. We've been doing it on August the 1st over the last several years, but we really believe that by mid-July to the third week in July, we'll be able to release our national rankings. We're expanding to 100. We're also going to have our regional rankings once again this year. Again, all of our rankings are created with our proprietary algorithm, and then we'll be doing our state-by-state rankings. Some of the states, we will also grow those. We've always done either a top 10 or a top 5, depending on the size of the state, but there are some states, such as Texas and Florida. We've already done a top 25 in California out here in our home base, but we're going to be expanding some of the big states when it comes to high school football to a top 25. So we'll do a top 25, a top 10, and a top 5, depending on size. So all of that will start rolling out somewhere toward the third week. Like I said, middle to third week of July, and very excited about that. High School Football America's Top 100. It's coming soon. So keep checking back at highschoolfootballamerica.com. Follow us on Twitter when we're not on the air. Our handle, we've changed it from HSFB America to Jeff Fisher Media. That's our handle, and all of the followers that we've had all along are still with us, and you can always tweet us with any questions you have. Also, make sure you check out highschoolfootballamerica.com on a very regular basis throughout the day, not only for news, but if you're a coach and you're looking for a new job out there, maybe you're new to the profession and you want to find a coaching job, well, the High School Football America Coaches Job Board is really getting more and more popular with everybody out there. We have right now, even though it's June 1st, we have over 250 active openings listed on the website. And we have the easiest job board to use. And the reason I say that, it's all based upon keywords. So if you want to be, looking for a coaching job and you're a math teacher and you're located in Tennessee, you can put those words in there and that will all pull up the jobs that are available for you by just doing that. It's simple. Some of the sites out there, you got to go back and forth and back and forth. Ours is very easy to get you everything you need to know to become a new coach, or if you're just looking to change jobs in the high school football profession. So check it out at highschoolfootballamerica.com. Click on the tab that says Coaching Jobs, and we want to remind everyone for jobs outside of football, whether it's lacrosse, wrestling, swimming, field hockey, we have all of those jobs on our brand new website called Coaches Job Board, and it is coachesjobboard.com. And you can also get to coachesjobboard.com. We have a link to that at highschoolfootballamerica.com. So make sure you check out that. And while we're talking about websites and social media and all that, make sure you follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/High School Football America. We're also on Instagram with our Stadium project. We have a SoCal Stadium project, one of those things that I just love to do, checking out high school football stadiums and snapping pictures of them. You can follow us on Instagram. Our handle on Instagram also is High School Football America. Got a good show for you tonight. We're going to be talking with Twan Russell, who is the ambassador for the Miami Dolphins youth program in southern Florida. The Dolphins have just been doing a magnificent job of reaching down into the high school ranks. I put a story up that you can read on highschoolfootballamerica.com earlier this week, and the Dolphins, during their OTAs, are bringing in local high school football teams to have a chance to watch the practice, tour the facilities there, and talk to the players. And Twan Russell will talk about the program that just keeps expanding as it relates to high school football for the Miami Dolphins. I happened to be there in Miami. Actually, it was in Fort Lauderdale a couple of years ago when they did their South Florida Media Day, and about 100 schools were there, and some 500 to 600 to 700 players and coaches. It was just a wonderful event where the Dolphins showcase high school football, and a very, very good for high school football in the country there in South Florida. So we're going to be talking with Twan Russell coming up in just a little bit. And then also on the back end, we're going to give you a little snippet like we've been doing over the last several weeks. High School Football America was sought out to write a book. So I'm writing a book for Skyhorse Publishing called My Texas High School Football Memories. It will come out in 2018. We're talking to Texas high school football players who have gone on to the pro ranks. We've had some real interesting chats and some snippets we've played over the last couple of shows. I've spoken with Hall of Famers. We had Raymond Berry, Mean Joe Green. We had the whole Mean Joe Green interview on a couple of weeks ago as he's written his new book, Built by Football. And I'm going to give a sneak peek of our chat with Craig James, who played at Stratford High School in Houston, winning a 1978 state championship, and then Craig going on to SMU, part of the Pony Express there with Eric Dickerson, and then into the NFL. And we're going to have a snippet of the conversation. Craig looking back during our chat to 1978, a fairly new school that had one great year, winning the state championship. Craig setting a state record for rushing, breaking Earl Campbell's record in the process. They were an explosive offensive unit, running the wishbone. So we're going to talk with Craig about that, play a little snippet for our book, but we're excited to write this book. It will turn into a multi-book deal, but we're starting in Texas, and just real excited by some of the chats, the usual suspects and some of the unusual suspects in there. And, Craig James will talk about at the end of the show here how he feels as though the 78 team at Stratford was one of the best ever, but maybe gets underlooked because he didn't have a great NFL career. So that's coming up later in the show. I mentioned Crossover, one of our sponsors. We'll bring in all of our partners right now. Crossover, what a great job. They were just purchased by Blue Star Sports out of Texas. We've been doing micro clinics in the state of Texas over the last several months. Crossover just breaking down game film like nobody else out there, and their analytics, their insights are just wonderful, very interactive. All of the coaches that attended our micro clinics, and we're getting a lot of sales out of this, are saying this is the wave of the future. It allows you to do what you do best, which is coach. Breaking down game film and, forward, backward, tagging, leave that for the experts at Crossover. It's crossoverwithak.com/football. Go to highschoolfootballamerica.com, click on the banner ad. You'll get right to the demo page, get a free 5-minute demo, or you can reach out to Pat Blizniak, who was on the show several weeks ago. Pat's the Texas sales rep down there in Texas, although it's a national thing right now. It's not just Texas, but Pat Blizniak is a great guy who knows what he's talking about. Listen to his interview by going back into the archives at highschoolfootballamerica.com. Speaking of coaches getting to do what they do best, give them that competitive edge. Well, Echo 1612 is right there to do that for you. Echo 1612. They give you instant replay on your sideline 8 seconds after the play is finished. It is a system that beats all the other copycats out there. Chad Cargill and company, the inventor of Echo, is a coach himself in Oklahoma, and he created this product, and it is better and finer than anybody else's. They use it at the college football ranks, so check them out at echo1612.com. Also brought to you tonight by ScoreStream. Hey, get the app, download it at Google Play or the iTunes Store, and go to your favorite game. It doesn't have to be football. You can do any sport, baseball and field hockey, soccer. It's all there. You can upload photos and score along so everybody knows how your favorite team is doing. I talked to Derek Owen the other day, and Derek was telling me that lots of neat things coming up for ScoreStream at scorestream.com, but go and download the app. Also brought to you tonight by Southern Sport and the makers of the debris inhibitor razor. Keep those pesky rubber pellets from field turf out of your shoes with the great look of spatting without the high cost of tape. Go to TDI Razor, that's razor with a U, TDI Razor, razur.com. Use the special code HSFA. When you see where it says promotional code, put in HSFA. You will get a discount on your order. Over 20 great colors. You can put a logo on these spats. Man, they really finish off a uniform nicely. I was talking to one of the top punters in the country from 2020's class. He's a punter and a kicker, Parker Lewis, and we're sending him a pair of those spats. He was out here. He's a kicker for Saguaro in Scottsdale, Arizona. Saguaro, number 24 in the High School Football America, top 25 last year, and look forward to hearing what he has to say about him. But they can really spiff up the uniform there, so check them out at tdirazor.com. And brought to you tonight by USA Today High School Sports. Once again in 2017, High School Football America and USA Today High School Sports teaming up to give you great high school football coverage from around the nation, and specifically from Southern California. You can check them out at USA Today HSS.com. Taking our first break. When we come back, we are going to talk with Twan Russell. Going to hear all the things the Miami Dolphins are doing for high school football there in South Florida. That and more. You're listening to High School Football America. Instant replays on a high school football sideline? Seriously? Yes, the future is here with Echo 1612's Instant Replay Sideline System. Echo's cutting-edge technology was the first to the market 2 years ago. Echo delivers instant replay to your sideline on an iPad within seconds of a play being finished so that you can make tomorrow's coaching changes today. This NFHS-approved product may be the biggest change in high school football since the invention of the helmet. Coaches, you'll gain a competitive edge by adding Echo 1612's Instant Replay Sideline System to your coaching toolbox. How cool is this? The Echo Instant Replay Sideline System works with both your current booth and end zone cameras, plus, and this is an important point, Echo works without any cellular connection, data plans, or internet. The list of high school football programs using Echo 1612 system is growing daily, meaning your opponent may already have a game time advantage. You don't want to be left out, do you? The Echo 1612 advantage is simple. Echo plus an iPad equals instant replay on your sideline that improves your game planning. Seriously, you'll be making coaching adjustments in real time, not the day after. Except no copycats, Echo 1612 is the best on the market. Echo 1612's cutting-edge technology helps you make tomorrow's adjustments today. Learn more at echo1612.com. Field turf rubber pellets, be gone. The debris inhibitor razor is a seamless outer sock that was specifically designed to keep crumb rubber and other fine debris from artificial or grass playing surfaces out of an athlete's shoes and socks, thus keeping such debris out of gym bags and locker rooms. The razor, spelled R-A-Z-U-R, is favored by athletes who want the look of tape, by trainers who no longer have the time to tape only for show, and by moms who no longer want that crumb rubber in the house. The debris inhibitor razor is made in America. It's 70% nylon and 30% spandex, making it extra lightweight and very durable, and it's backed by a 1-year performance guarantee. The debris inhibitor razor covers just the right amount of a player's shoe while keeping those shoelaces tight. It's fully customizable, machine washable, and more importantly, it's easy to get on and off. The debris inhibitor razor comes in 23 colors and sizes are youth, medium, large, And for that extra Bigfoot, extra large. Founded in 2010 by former University of Mississippi All-SEC football player Carl Hoppy Langley III, Southern Sport Inc. created the debris inhibitor to improve athletic performance by protecting athletes, allowing them to look and feel better with technically advanced products engineered with superior fabric construction, patented design, and proven innovation. Get a discount on your order by using the High School Football America code HSFA when you order at TDIRazor.com. That's razor spelled with a U at TDIRazor.com. If you're scouting your opponents without Crossover's game film breakdown platform, you're missing an opportunity to get a huge edge over the competition. Crossover's service lets you upload game film from your hard drive, video camera, or other websites like Huddle. Their team of football experts will then clip and tag the game with player and formation info so that when you log into your account, you can filter the clips however you'd like. They'll also automatically prepare a comprehensive tendency report and down and distance report for your staff so you can see exactly what your opponents like to call in specific situations. We all know that every coach spends countless hours preparing before a game. It's not about the time you put in, it's about what you do with that time. That's Crossover's biggest advantage. It allows you to use your prep time more efficiently and get an even deeper level of insight since you don't have to waste time setting up the film. Check them out. You're going to love them. You can sign up for a quick free demo at crossover.com/football. That's crossover with a K.com/football. This portion of High School Football America brought to you by USA Today High School Sports. Once again, in 2017, USA Today and High School Football America teaming up to give you great national high school football coverage from around the nation and specifically from here in Southern California. Check them out at usatoday.hss.com. Well, you've heard us say it a lot on the program here through the years. The NFL is doing more and more to reach down into its roots of high school football and even beyond. Of course, they have the National Coach of the Year, the Don Shula Award, and one of the NFL teams doing a lot with the youth in its area, the Miami Dolphins. I talked about this a couple of years ago when we went down to visit during South Florida's Media Day, where they had nearly 100 high schools there at the training facility, and they are just doing some neat stuff. We put a story up last week. Norland High School went out to the training facility, had a chance to watch the workout, the OTAs, and several high schools are going to be there throughout the weekend. We wanted to bring in Twan Russell, who is the Miami Dolphins Youth Programs Ambassador, to talk about all of the things that they do to go down there and make the game stronger at the roots. Welcome to the show, Twan.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's good to have you on here. And, it's got to be so exciting. I mean, you're a guy that played at a darn good high school there at St. Thomas Aquinas. You're a local guy, and now you get a lot of these local teams coming in. What do you see on the faces of these kids as they get a chance to go out there and maybe dream a little bit that one day they'll be playing on a Sunday?
Every school is a little bit different, but they all have, one face, and that I want to be here. When those kids walk on the sidelines and they see the athletes that they want to be like, they're always asking, "Hey, coach, what can I?" You hear them talking to their coaches on the sideline. "Hey, coach, what can I do to get here? How can I improve my game? What can I do?" I mean, like today we had a whole conversation about, the kids like, "Coach, I think I can be that strong safety." And they were specifically talking about Rashad Jones. And the coach was like, "Well, you need to step it up in the classroom." He's like, you just can't say you want to play football and not do the extra things that you're supposed to do. We talked to the kids today about being resilient and about teamwork. And the resilience was, things happen in your life. You have turmoil. You have things that happen, but you can't be someone that when things happen in your life, you just, pause or you go dormant or you say, "Hey, I quit." You got to be the young man who's going to stand up and rise to the challenge and say, "Hey, I have turmoil in my life. I have to work hard. I got to work through it. I have to, make sure I do all the things that I need to do." And And it was fun to see that coach and that young man have a conversation about, what they need to do to be successful. And he was saying it's about being in the classroom and making sure that you're doing the things that you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah, great message there. We're talking with Twan Russell, the Miami Dolphins Youth Programs Ambassador. And like we said, they do a lot of reaching down. You played there in the NFL, drafted by the Redskins, played a spell with the Dolphins and the Falcons. Obviously, you've got that experience. What are some of the messages that you present? Because I know you talk to the kids as well. So what's kind of that general message? And then, what are the things that maybe you wish you would have had when you were in high school and having somebody that played in the NFL talking to you?
Well, I mean, we actually tailor the messages when we talk to the kids literally about the team. I spend a lot of time with the head football coach, and we talk very specifically about the things that affect the kids. Like, for instance, today we brought out Hialeah Miami Lakes, and they were 2-8 last year. And we were talking, and I talked to them about, and I mentioned earlier about resilience. And I said, Bermuda grass is a very resilient grass, meaning that it transports from Alabama to our practice fields. And then when it gets here, it's a little brown, it's a little yellow. And when they plant it, it doesn't look the part. Mm-hmm. But when that grass is under adversity, when that grass, maybe doesn't have enough water, the roots grow strong and deep to go find the water. When it gets torn up by our players' cleats, it multiplies and increases itself so it can be more dense. And we talk to the kids that that's the type of person that you need to be when you're coming here and when you're playing football. You got to be a resilient football player. We also talk about teamwork and how you work together in a oneness and how you become one as a team. You have to do that on the field. You have to do it off the field. And we specifically talked about in the late 1800s, there were no firefighters. There were, it might be one fire station and it's shared by many cities. Mm-hmm. And when someone's house got on fire, the neighbors would all come together, and they would become one for an evening to help put this family's fire out. They would bring buckets and they would bring ladders, and then without even talking, they would assemble a line and pass the water down and up into that home to put that fire out. And we talk about they're pushing and pulling and lifting through that process, and that's how you become successful. You have to get to know each other off the football field. You have to get to know them on the football field to be successful, and through resilience and teamwork, you can accomplish whatever you want to accomplish, not just on the football field, but also in life.
Yeah, it sounds like you've got a good message going there, that it isn't just X's and O's there. So the youth programs that you're doing is focusing on everything, I would assume. Like you were talking earlier, classroom. Do you go into health and things like that, and maybe broken families, and if you're from a single parent? I mean, are all of those things covered in what you talk? I know you're trying to tailor it, but is that some of the stuff you cover?
Yeah, absolutely. Football is just an avenue to help athletes be successful. And actually, football doesn't teach you anything. The men in football is what teach you everything you need to know. And we talked, and we spend a lot of time investing in the coaches, because those coaches can impact the kids so much more. And the football, all football does is reveal who you are. And when it reveals who you are, we correct. Those coaches have a great opportunity to correct the problems that those kids are having. And those are the things that we're trying to do. We're trying to make sure that they, these coaches have the tools that they need to help direct these young men in the direction that they want to be. And that's what it's about. It's about how can Coach Gase pass the torch, because, this is important to him. He is truly bought into what we're doing. He's 100% behind it. He's giving us, he's saying, hey, this is what I want to do. He's like, I just don't want them sitting in the stands. I want these kids, when they come, I want them to stand next to my linebacker coach. I want them to stand next to my offensive coordinator, because I want them to understand the type of work ethic it takes to play football, because his hope is what they learn on the football field, they can apply in their marriage, they can apply in their homes, they can apply raising their children. And that's what it's about. How can we educate these young people to be able to do that? And that's why we do it, and that's why we're investing this time and energy to bring these athletes out, because we want to transform our community. And the only way to do that is through our youth.
Twan Russell on the line, Miami Dolphins Youth Programs Ambassador, played at St. Thomas Aquinas, went on to become a Hurricane, and then played in the NFL with the Skins, the Dolphins, and the Falcons. When you're there talking to your kids, and I because you go back to George Smith, right? You played under Coach Smith?
Yeah, he was my head coach.
He was your head.
St. Thomas.
I was going to say, and we know how tough. He's a legend, but he's a tough guy too. Do you ever, when you're out there talking to these kids, ever think, boy, I think Coach Smith may have said something like that back in the day?
A lot of who I am was molded by him. I met Coach Smith in a time where I needed a man to stand with me. And there are days that he stood next to me and corrected me. There are days that he carried me, and there are days he pushed me. And I owe a lot of my life to him. In fact, I actually go back to St. Thomas. I take my vacation and go back to St. Thomas and coach linebackers in the spring, because for me, I want them to understand the investment that the men before me put in me, and I want to share that. And I remember the days that I would come in having a tough day at home or in life. And George, I shouldn't call him George, Coach Smith, would literally pull me out of class and just, talk to me. He would feed me. He would give me that encouragement that I need and make sure that I was okay. Because, he was a guy that cared, and he was a guy that, it was more than football for him. Like, I truly felt that he treated us like arrows, that he was shaping us and carving us and molding us and making sure we're straight and making sure we're sharp. And he had this great opportunity in 1992 to launch me into the world and launch a lot of our athletes when I graduated from high school in the world, and say, go hit your mark. And because he's like, I know what I invested in you. Mm-hmm. I know what the people in this organization invested in you, and we want you to go out and transform the world. And I've had this great opportunity to serve our community and bless a lot of people, and a lot of it has to do with my high school football coach.
Yeah,
there's no way I stand here today without him.
Yeah, and that can be said about all 15,000 programs around the country. That's for sure. I know people out here in Southern California at St. John Bosco are looking forward to coming across the country and taking on that pretty darn good program to kick off the season. But I'll get off on too much of a tangent.
We're excited. We're excited about that. And I did say we.
Yeah. Well, you can take the kid out of St. Thomas, but you can't take St. Thomas out of the kid. Isn't that the saying? Something like that?
Right. You're right about that.
Miami Dolphins are hosting a lot of high schools here during OTAs, and Twan Russell's on here talking about it. He's the Miami Dolphins Youth Programs Ambassador. And I know we've talked mostly high school, but I guess you're going to have a girls' flag team there and maybe a youth program as well. So this is not just high school, right? You're dipping down as low as you can go. Yeah.
We're actually going to have Hollywood Hills flag football team, and we're going to have Overtown Youth Optimist Club coming as well. And the Overtown Youth Optimist Club is a organization that was formed by Luther Campbell, the rapper.
Yep.
And he invests a lot in his community, and he talks a lot about in China, how they take athletes at the earliest of age and begin to mold them and make sure they have the best facilities and they feed their skill set. He said he wanted to do the same thing here in the U.S. So he created a league where they provide tutoring for the kids. They make sure that they have everything that they need. And also he wants to do it starting at 4 years old. So, as kids develop, he wants to make sure they have the right resources, the right coaching, the right structure, and the right people in their lives and make sure that they're successful. And he doesn't just stop on the football field. He spends probably more time off the football field and encouraging them to be positive citizens and positive people in this country.
Yeah, and a lot of people know what he did as a rapper, but he's not bad as a defensive coach. As a former linebacker, he's pretty darn good, right? That's what I've never met him, but I've heard he can scheme pretty well. Is that the good way to describe him?
No, yeah, he's a technician. He's all about I've heard people say that he's a chess player. That he's very smart when it comes to football, and it shouldn't have surprised me because he's a brilliant man. Already, but when you talk to people, when you talk to the kids about what kind of football coach he is, they say he's very passionate, very caring, and he's very knowledgeable of the game. And he sits there and he plays chess with the other team. and he sets them up for things later on in the game. So he does a great job, and I'm excited that he's investing in these young men's lives in Miami.
Yeah, same thing that we have out here with Snoop doing all the wonderful things for youth football out here as well.
Oh, yeah.
Twan Russell on the line right now. We'll wrap things up in just a couple of questions. He is the ambassador for the Miami Dolphins youth programs, doing some great thing with high school and youth programs, coming out to the OTAs with the Dolphins right now. And I mentioned earlier at the top that you guys have this great media day. Prior to the season, I think when I was there 2 years ago, there were about 100 schools. Tell the listeners a little bit about that, because it's something special. I mean, you can't have every team there at practice, but you can do it on one day there at the practice facility. It's kind of neat. So explain how you guys came up with that and what it's all about.
It's funny. We came up with this several years ago, and one of our interns we were sitting in the office, and we're saying we want to create something where we can engage at every high school in South Florida. And he says, why don't we do like a high school media day? And he's like, the same way that you would do it at ACC or SEC or one of the college media days. He said, why don't we do it for high school? And we loved the idea. And it was just an innocent comment that he made, sitting at a table we were brainstorming. It's turned into, this year we had over 120 teams there. You've had head football coach, the top 5 players, and we had 30 or 40 media, and it was a rolling crowd. We had 30 or 40 media there throughout the entire day, filming and educating themselves about these high schools. And what's happened, what it actually has turned into, it allows the high school coaches to get their message out. Why are they successful? What are they doing differently? It gives them the opportunity to highlight their players and highlight their program. And here in South Florida, it's a lot of competition when it comes to where people are going to go to school and what they're going to do. And we're just excited. We give these young men a platform to showcase themselves so that colleges, the national media can see who they are. Maybe, you find a player and they end up on your radar. And for us as an organization, we just get to highlight the game. We have our radio partner, 560, stayed with us an entire day. They're filming they're doing interviews with coaches and players throughout the entire day. We have, photographers, we have videographers coming throughout the day. And it's really turned into this mega event. And every year we're like, man, what's going to happen? What we're going to add to it? And we're just excited about this opportunity because, we have, like 700 kids a year coming through this thing, and it's gotten bigger every year. Oh,
it's a beautiful thing, and I'm going to give a shout out to two of my favorites down there who, when I was there, kept it running. Because you got all these teams there. Sometimes guys aren't asking questions; they don't know enough. But JT Wilcox and Larry Bluestein, those guys are like the best.
They run the show. they run. And what I love about Larry, first of all, Larry knows everything about high school football.
He does,
and he sits there and, the most obscure team or the most, unknown player, he can sit there and ask that young man 3 or 4 questions and make him feel, like he's important. And he does a good job of sitting there. Like, even during lunch break, we keep going. A lot of guys take off and they go eat. Larry will sit there and eat his lunch because he wants to make sure that every athlete that goes in has the opportunity to tell their story, has an opportunity to highlight themselves, and he does not quit. And he's a phenomenal player. Blue and JT, man, they do a great job down here.
Yeah, no, I remember saying to both of them, I said, man, this is props. I don't think I've ever seen, and I've been all over the country. Those guys eat, sleep, and breathe high school football. It's great. One more question before we go away. You kind of touched on it throughout, and I said this at the top. A lot of NFL programs are doing things at the high school level, but you guys seem to be a little bit above everybody. Where does that come from? Is that coming down from the top? I know obviously you got a great staff, but why are the Dolphins, like you said, trying to top each other? Top yourselves the next year at the media day or whatever it is. Where's that all coming from the organization?
I wouldn't say that we're trying to top ourselves. I think we're just feeling the need. Our owner, Mr. Ross, he gives us the resources to serve this community, and our CEO, Tom Garfinkel, really buys into it, and it's important to them. And they said, hey, in order for us to play this great game, we need to serve it, we need to give to it, and we need to feed it. And that's why we have our coaches clinic. We had our coaches clinic in April. It's a 4-day coaches clinic where coaches throughout all of South Florida come down. That's why we do our high school media day, where we get all 3 counties to participate. That's why we do our OTA practice visits, because we want to make sure that we're providing a platform for athletes and coaches to be successful. You know, we make our money through football, and the healthier the game is, the better the game is going to be, and our resources, our organization enjoys to take those resources and bless our community. It's just exciting to see that they really believe in this community and believe in giving back, and they have so many programs to serve them. And, you know, every year it changes. As the climate of football changes, we change and we adjust. Right now we're looking to give, 450 high school coaches, making them heads up certified, where the Miami Dolphins are going to pay for that. Then we're going to have another 1,500 coaches who are going to be heads up certified. So we're going to have these PSC trainers for their player safety coaches. So 4 for every high school football team in South Florida, Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach. And then the remaining portion of the coaches are going to be heads up football certified. So when they go on the football field, and if something happens, God forbid, but if they need to operate an AED, they'll know how to do it. If they need to do life restorative services on a child, they'll know exactly what to do, whether it be CPR or whatever it may be. Shoulder tackling, they'll be able to teach athletes how to shoulder tackle. How do you take the head out of the game? How do you block with your hands and not with your head? And how do you make this game safer? And for us, that's what it's about. And we want to make sure that these athletes have the resources in a safe environment to be successful, because we know South Florida is the best football in the world, and we want to play it at the highest level as well.
Uh-oh. You just threw down the gauntlet for some of these people out here in Southern California listening.
Texas and California, that's fine. That's fine. You can get upset, but I'm just letting you know. We can do the math. You can look at how many athletes in the National Football League, however you want to do it. I believe South Florida has the best football in the world, and I'm not exaggerating.
No, it's pretty darn good. It's hard.
I'm going to get some hate mail.
Yeah, you may, but you know what? The passion comes through, and isn't that what we're all here for? To have the passion for this game and make sure it gets bigger and better, and the people that don't want to, see it do great things, they get silenced.
Absolutely.
That's the way we look at it. But
absolutely,
Twan, really appreciate you joining us on the show tonight, and putting it out there. Like I said, having seen it up close and personal a couple of years ago, I know what you guys are doing, and congratulations just on shining that light on high school and right down into the youth league. So thanks for joining us tonight.
Thank you. You take care.
Yep. Again, that's Twan Russell, the ambassador for the Miami Dolphins youth program. They do wonderful stuff down there. It's wonderful to see that, and hopefully more and more NFL teams begin to do some of these media days like they do there in South Florida. All right, we're going to take another break here from all of our partners here at High School Football America. And when we come back, we're going to give you a little snippet from our upcoming book. Did an interview with Craig James, who's going to be in it. He was at Stratford High School in 1978, breaking records and winning championships. Craig James, who also then went on to become a broadcaster, will join us here as part of our look ahead to the 2018 release of my book called My Texas High School Football Memories. An inside look at a lot of players that played football in Texas and then went on to the pro ranks. That, when we come back, you're listening to High School Football America. Instant replays on a high school football sideline? Seriously? Yes, the future is here with Echo 1612's Instant Replay Sideline System. Echo's cutting-edge technology was the first to the market 2 years ago. Echo delivers instant replay to your sideline on an iPad within seconds of a play being finished so that you can make tomorrow's coaching changes today. This NFHS-approved product may be the biggest change in high school football since the invention of the helmet. Coaches, you'll gain a competitive edge by adding Echo 1612's Instant Replay Sideline System to your coaching toolbox. How cool is this? The Echo Instant Replay Sideline System works with both your current booth and end zone cameras, plus, and this is an important point, Echo works without any cellular connection, data plans, or internet. The list of high school football programs using Echo 1612 system is growing daily, meaning your opponent may already have a game time advantage. You don't want to be left out, do you? The Echo 1612 advantage is simple. Echo plus an iPad equals instant replay on your sideline that improves your game planning. Seriously, you'll be making coaching adjustments in real time, not the day after. Except no copycats, Echo 1612 is the best on the market. Echo 1612's cutting-edge technology helps you make tomorrow's adjustments today. Learn more at echo1612.com. Field turf rubber pellets, be gone. The Debris Inhibitor Razor is a seamless outer sock that was specifically designed to keep crumb rubber and other fine debris from artificial or grass playing surfaces out of an athlete's shoes and socks, thus keeping such debris out of gym bags and locker rooms. The Razor, spelled R-A-Z-U-R, is favored by athletes who want the look of tape, by trainers who no longer have the time to tape only for show, and by moms who no longer want that crumb rubber in the house. The Debris Inhibitor Razor is made in America. It's 70% nylon and 30% spandex, making it extra lightweight and very durable, and it's backed by a 1-year performance guarantee. The Debris Inhibitor Razor covers just the right amount of a player's shoe while keeping those shoelaces tight. It's fully customizable, machine washable, and more importantly, it's easy to get on and off. The Debris Inhibitor Razor comes in 23 colors and sizes are youth, medium, large, and for that extra big foot, extra large. Founded in 2010 by former University of Mississippi All-SEC football player Carl Hoppy Langley III, Southern Sport Inc. created the Debris Inhibitor to improve athletic performance by protecting athletes, allowing them to look and feel better with technically advanced products engineered with superior fabric construction, patented design, and proven innovation. Get a discount on your order by using the High School Football America code HSFA when you order at TDIRazor.com. That's razor spelled with a U at TDIRazor.com. If you're scouting your opponents without Crossover's game film breakdown platform, you're missing an opportunity to get a huge edge over the competition. Crossover's service lets you upload game film from your hard drive, video camera, or other websites like Huddle. Their team of football experts will then clip and tag the game with player and formation info so that when you log into your account, you can filter the clips however you'd like. They'll also automatically prepare a comprehensive tendency report and down and distance report for your staff so you can see exactly what your opponents like to call in specific situations. We all know that every coach spends countless hours preparing before a game. It's not about the time you put in, it's about what you do with that time. That's Crossover's biggest advantage. It allows you to use your prep time more efficiently and get an even deeper level of insight since you don't have to waste time setting up the film. Check them out. You're going to love them. You can sign up for a quick free demo at crossover.com/football. That's crossoverwithak.com/football. Jeff Fisher back on the High School Football America radio show. Over the last month, we've been talking about the book we're writing that will come out in 2018 for Skyhorse Publishing out of New York City called My Texas High School Football Memories. We've had some wonderful interviews so far for the book. We've had Raymond Berry, the Hall of Famer for the Baltimore Colts, who played in Paris, Texas. Talked to Gene Stallings, who actually was a couple of years in front of Coach Berry, and they also both went on to be NFL coaches. Berry taking the Patriots in the mid-'80s to the Super Bowl, where they lost to the big Chicago Bears team at that time. And they actually also met in the Pro Football Hall of Fame game, preseason game. First time two players from the same school met as NFL head coaches in a NFL game. Quite an honor there for those two from the tiny town of Paris, Texas. We've spoken with Mean Joe Green. We had a full interview with him on the show a couple of weeks ago about his new book, Built by Football. You can read the review of that and purchase the book by going and checking it out at highschoolfootballamerica.com. Ken Houston from Lufkin was wonderful as well. And just last week had a neat chat with Craig James, who played at Stratford and part of that 1978 4A state championship team that was pretty special, winning it in the Dome. And that Dome at the time was the Astrodome. They had a perfect 15-0 season. The Spartans, not that old. The school had been founded in the mid-70s. They scored 532 points. That was the second best in the largest classification at that time. It was 4A then. It's, of course, now 6A. They ran the wishbone to perfection, and Craig James was at the center of it, so to speak, even though he was a halfback. The team totaled more than 7,000 yards in total offense, and Craig James had a record setter with 2,411 yards, and then he, of course, went on to be part of the Pony Express at SMU with Eric Dickerson, and then on to the NFL, where he played under Coach Raymond Berry when he was with the Patriots. But going back to the high school days, James beating Earl Campbell's record. And when we were chatting for the book, we kind of went off on a little bit of a tangent, and Craig was telling me how he thought that 78 championship team for Stratford really didn't get its due, or doesn't get its due, when it comes to talking about the all-time great teams in the state of Texas. One of the things that they did during that 78 run to a championship, they beat some former state champions along the way. 3 of them, as a matter of fact, which at that point had never, ever been done. And Craig James said when conversation turns to the all-time best teams in the state of Texas, that 15-0 Stratford team that won a championship in 78 should be looked at.
I have said a few years ago they were ranking the all-time best high school teams in Texas. Mm-hmm. And, at the time 4A was the highest classification. And we were still considered one of the top all-time schools, state champions. But I would argue and have said, if I had gone on and had an Earl Campbell-ish career in the NFL, there's no doubt in my mind that we would be considered the best team ever to play in the state of Texas. And I guess I played in the Pro Bowl, and yes, I played in the Super Bowl and had I think a good career in the NFL. But it's a natural to assume, wow, Earl Campbell's team must have been really good, right? Right. Perception. And so, and my teammates, after they read that I said that in an interview, they're like, "Man, that's not fair to you to say that. That's unfair. You had a very good NFL career, and et cetera." But I'm saying that as an evaluator and trying to step back and look at it from an analytical standpoint. And well, how do you differentiate between the 78 Spartans and Earl Campbell's team or some other guy's team? Well, man, Earl Campbell went on to the Hall of Fame. They had to have been better, right? Mm-hmm. But they had a loss in his year. We didn't lose. And we were a team, and I would say as good as any team that ever played a high school season in football in Texas.
Craig James talking about the 1978 Stratford team winning the 4A state championship in the state of Texas, one of the all-time great teams. You'll be able to read about that team and many, many other players. Like I said, we've already wrapped up some cool interviews with the all-time greats. This is going to be information that you've never read about before, like how Ken Houston went from being in the band and why he started playing high school football as a sophomore. Some really neat inside story. Again, back in the day, there wasn't a lot written about high school football in Texas to the extent of profiles and all that, so we think we're doing some groundbreaking stuff here. It will come out in 2018. Skyhorse Publishing is doing the work for us. I'm doing the writing, and it's going to be called My Texas High School Football Memories. So it should be the first in many, many books that will take you to the hometown, the roots, if you will, of these great football players that went from sometimes real tiny towns to also big towns on to the bright lights of the NFL coming out in 2018. Well, we're just about ready to wrap things up here on the show tonight. Big weekend out here in Southern California as the elite 11. The finals will be held out here in Southern California. The Elite 11 has become, the quintessential, I would say, quarterback competition in America. Some great players have gone on from the Elite 11. I think I read somewhere maybe 10 of the last 11 Heisman Trophy winners have either attended an Elite 11 regional or have actually participated in the Elite 11 finals. The people that come out of the Elite 11, there's 24 quarterbacks coming out here to Southern California. They will go on to the opening early July on Nike's campus in Beaverton, Oregon. So just some great talent. The top guys will move on to the opening, but should be a fun weekend for all of those guys out here in Southern California, the Elite 11. And we'll have updates throughout the weekend by going to highschoolfootballamerica.com. Don't forget, while we're gone, you can follow us on Twitter. Our handle is @JeffFisherMedia. Also on Facebook, facebook.com/highschoolfootballamerica. On Instagram for our stadium project @highschoolfootballamerica. That is our handle there as well. Don't forget the jobs board, new jobs each and every day. We've got 2 styles for you going on High School Football America. You can get to both of them, but the High School Football America jobs board is strictly for high school football. 250 active jobs on the site right now. And you can also get a look at all the coaching positions around the country in other sports by going to coachesjobboard.com. And you're free to email us any openings you have by emailing us at jobposting@highschoolfootballamerica.com. I want to thank all of our sponsors making this show possible each and every week, beginning with Crossover. Coaches, we're all about trying to find you competitive edges, and between Crossover and Echo, you get some real great competitive edges. Crossover breaks down your game film for you. Great insights, very interactive. I haven't seen anything like this on the market. The coaches in Texas are loving it, and when Texas coaches love it, no matter where you are, what state, you should be loving it as well. It saves a lot of time and money. It takes time to break down game film, but they do it highly accurately and lets you do what you do best, which is coach. You're not sitting there inputting information from the game film that you're watching from the night before. Literally, that is a competitive edge, and it saves you money. Jason Strunk, who writes the turnaround and will be writing it again this fall for us at Lubbock, estimated that it saved his program $50,000, where he was able to have that time that he normally had coaches breaking down game film. If he had that time to let him coach, and it all came to him, and great pricing that we can get you. So check them out at Crossover with a K. Go to highschoolfootballamerica.com, click on their banner ad, go right to the demo site and get a free demo courtesy of High School Football America. Crossover, and then Echo, getting those instant replays to you on your sidelines. It's all about show and tell these days, guys. Make the adjustment during the game, not the next day. The highlight comes to you 8 seconds after the play is ended. You can say, look, you missed this block here, you ran the wrong route here, whatever you want to show the kids. It's a great competitive edge, and it was built by high school coaches for high school coaches. Chad Cargill, a high school football coach in Oklahoma, created it. Anything else that you see like this is an imitation. They are the leaders in the industry, and they were the ones that got hooked up with college football as well. Nobody does it better than Echo. Again, you can get to them through our website or just go to echo1612.com. Also brought to you tonight by ScoreStream. Hey, when football season rolls around, download the app and score along at the game and show your friends around the country or in the neighborhood who aren't at the game how your favorite team is doing. You can upload videos and photos. You can also do it for other sports like soccer and baseball, but it's great. Get it in Google Play and get it in the iTunes Store. You can get more and learn more by going to scorestream.com. Also brought to you tonight by the good folks at Southern Sport with the TDI Razor, the debris inhibitor razor, keeping those pesky rubber pellets from field turf out of your shoes. And by the way, they are American made, and they give you that great look of spatting without the high cost of tape. If you go to the website, TDI Razor with a U, TDI Razor, RAZUR.com, and enter the special code in the promotion area, HSFA, which stands for High School Football America, you will get a discount on your order. Over 20 great colors. You can get logos on the spats now. These things are really great. Remember Lenny Spats Moore? That guy, Lenny Spats Moore. He was the first guy to have the spats out there, but that was all white tape and all that. You can get these in so many nice colors. Yeah, they've got black and white, but there are a lot of great colors that will match your uniform. Make you take it from Lenny Moore right to 2017. And also brought to you tonight by USA Today High School Sports, once again in 2017. USA Today Sports and High School Football America teaming up to give you the greatest high school football coverage from around the country, and also specifically from in Southern California. Check them out at usatodayhss.com. And one final note here, we will continue to work on the Top 100 High School Football America with its proprietary algorithm, creating its Top 100 rankings, national, and then we'll do our regional and our state rankings. So we're going to be reaching out to some of you coaches around the country. We've already been doing that, talking to coaches and seeing what they think, getting some nice stories that will be preceding the release of the Top 100, which should come by mid-July to about the third week in July. You're going to love it as High School Football America continues to grow. It's all about promoting students, student-athletes, coaches, teams, and their communities. For now, this is Jeff Fisher saying good night and good sports from Southern California. You've been listening to High School Football America.